In this video, we're going to demystify some common health insurance terms that often leave people scratching their head. Hey guys, welcome to Affordable Coverage Now, where we simplify the complex as it relates to health insurance to put your mind at ease. You can visit us online at affordablecoveragenow.org, and there you can find quality healthcare solutions at an affordable price. Maybe you can find something there for you. Let's dive in. First up is deductible. Deductible is simply an annual amount that you must pay on medical expenses before your plan begins to share costs or kick in or really pay for anything, right? So let's say your deductible is $1,000 and you incur a medical claim or medical expenses totaling $800. Well, in that case, you'd be paying the full $800 to that provider. Maybe it was an urgent care visit or a ER visit or whatever it was. You're going to be responsible for that full amount because you haven't met your deductible yet. Once again, it is an annual amount, all right? So therefore it resets every year, and your plan has a plan year. So it may be from January 1st to December 31st. However, not all plans are. Some plans have a plan year that start in June or September to September, right? So it just depends on when you started your plan. So during that 12-month period of time, your deductible is the amount that you must pay before your plan kicks in. Another thing to remember about deductible, if you look at your plan in sort of three phases, the first phase is the deductible phase. That's the part where you pay just about everything. The second phase then is the coinsurance phase, and we'll talk about coinsurance in just a second. And that's the time where you share costs with the plan. And then the third phase is the really the out-of-pocket maximum phase, or the plan pays everything. So first phase, deductible. Second phase, coinsurance. You guys are sharing costs. Third phase then is the out-of-pocket maximum, where the plan pays everything. Now let's talk about coinsurance. So we mentioned that that's kind of phase two. So phase one is deductible. Phase two, coinsurance simply means that you and the plan are sharing costs of your medical expenses. So again, if you have an example of a $1,000 deductible, and let's say now you've met your deductible, and you have another medical expense totaling $100. And let's say your plan, and this is where you have to check with your plan provider to see what is your coinsurance amount. Are you on an 80-20 plan where the plan pays 80% and you pay 20% coinsurance? Maybe you're on a 60-40 or a 70-30. Maybe you're on a 90-10. Okay, so some are more rare than others. There's a lot of different types of plans out there. Let's say, for example, you're on an 80-20 plan. So that means your coinsurance is 20%. Your responsibility of your bills after you met your deductible is 20%. So if you have a $100 expense or medical need or medical claim, however you want to call it, visit to the specialist's office or doctor's office, bill in the mail totals $100, you pay 20 of it. Okay, your plan will cover the other 80. And that, once again, is the second phase. You and your plan are splitting costs. Now, in the coinsurance phase, typically you'll pay 20%, 20%, 20% until you've reached what we call the out-of-pocket maximum. And so the out-of-pocket maximum now is that third phase of the plan, where once you've reached that amount, now your plan is paying for all the covered expenses, okay? Your plan will tell you which things are covered and which things are not covered on the plan. And so for the things that they say they will cover, when you've reached your out-of-pocket maximum, the plan will pay 100% then of all of those things. So let's go back to our example. You have a $1,000 deductible. You've reached that. Then you have an 80-20 coinsurance, so your responsibility is 20%. And let's say your out-of-pocket maximum is $3,000. So you're going to pay 20% of all your medical bills in the coinsurance phase up until you have paid a total of $3,000 on medical expenses that year, at which point you have now reached your out-of-pocket maximum. Now, every dollar of medical claim, every visit to the doctor's office, every visit to the ER or surgery or hospitalization, your plan will cover 100% of that. Okay, and once again, your plan will tell you what it covers. And so covered expenses then are, so some things aren't covered, and the plan just says that right up front. We don't cover this. So whether or not you've reached your out-of-pocket maximum, your plan stated before that they're not going to cover this. So some examples, plastic surgery. Okay, cosmetic plastic surgery is one that not a lot of plans actually cover. It's just a random example that I came up with. So even if you've reached an out-of-pocket maximum, it's important to understand your plan's still not going to cover that because it wasn't a covered expense. Okay, so of covered expenses, your plan then will pay 100% of those after you've reached your out-of-pocket maximum. So to recap now, we've talked about deductible, coinsurance, and out-of-pocket maximum. And once again, that's like step 1 of the plan. You're paying everything, deductible phase. Step 2 of the plan, coinsurance. You guys are sharing costs, you and your plan. And then step 3 is the out-of-pocket maximum, where they're covering 100% of covered expenses in that year. Now, once the year turns over, your plan anniversary, it all resets, okay? Back to 0. Hey, real quick, if you have any questions about anything we just covered, please go ahead and comment down below. I'd love to see if I can answer that in a follow-up video. If there was something that I said that maybe sparked a new question, or if there's something that you'd like me to shed a little more light on, I'd be happy to do it. Just drop a comment down below. Thanks. Now let's talk about copays. Copays are interesting. They're different and separate in most regards than the rest of your plan. I always tell folks, copays are like the non-negotiables of the plan. Because, so number 1, they're a set amount that applies to a specific service that your plan covers. For example, a primary care office visit to a primary care provider might be a $25 copay. A specialist visit to like a cardiologist or orthopedist or ENT or whatever specialist might be a $75 copay or a $50 copay, whatever your plan specifies. Okay? Now the copay, you pay the full amount of the copay. The plan covers the rest of the bill. For example, a specialist visit to, say, an orthopedic surgeon for a checkup or whatever. Typically, let's say they bill $200 for that generally, and that's what they charge for their time for half-hour appointment at their office. Okay, $200. And what happens then is, because your plan says your copay for a specialist is $50, your responsibility is only $50, and the plan covers the rest of it. You don't ever even really see that. Your plan pays the rest of it to the surgeon, to that specialist, and because that's his stated amount, but the plan agreed that you, the member, you're only paying $50 for it. So it's a set amount for a service that you get to pay. The plan covers the rest. All right. And now the key thing to remember, though, is that copays don't apply towards your deductible. So let's say you get unlimited visits on your plan. Let's say you have unlimited visits to a specialist for a $50 copay. And you visit that specialist 10 times in your plan year. 10 times, well, that's $500. That's $50 copay times 10, $500. That $500 does not apply towards your deductible. So copays are separate from the deductible. Now, confusingly, most times the copays do apply towards your out-of-pocket maximum. Okay, so that $500 didn't apply to getting you to your deductible, but that $500 does apply to getting you towards your out-of-pocket max. All right. Now, in some rare cases, some plans will have it to where you're paying a copay and a coinsurance amount. But they'll usually state that up front. Hey, urgent care visits on our plan, you pay a $50 copay and 20% coinsurance. So once again, you'll pay $50, and urgent care visit, let's say it's $400. Well, you're paying 20% of that $400 in addition to your copay. Right? The copay is its own deal outside of anything else really. And then you pay 20% of the $400, which is $80. Okay. But again, very rare cases on that. Your plan will tell you if that's the case. So there you have it, a quick overview rundown of health insurance terms like deductible, copay, coinsurance, and out-of-pocket maximum. Hopefully this simplified some things and demystified some of the weird nebulous terms out there, and ultimately made your life a little simpler and easier so that you can budget for medical expenses and understand your plan. And remember, plans vary, so consult with your insurance professional. We'd love to have you as a client at Affordable Coverage Now. You can visit us at affordablecoveragenoww.org. If it's a right fit, great. If not, please hit that like button if you got value from this video. You may also subscribe to our channel for more informative and educational health insurance related content. Thanks so much for watching.